Hi, guys. Welcome to Optimism's Peak. This is a podcast where you can get resources just from conversations, right? So, this podcast is here to help you grow emotionally, professionally, and personally. So, my name is Shanique. I'm an entrepreneur and I am an optimist. So, for today's episode, I have a special guest. His name is Edwin. Edwin is an accountant. He's an entrepreneur, a father, and most of all, a thinker. He is one of the owners of the Sun Lion Group, a firm helping entrepreneurs. He's heavily savvy, smart, and invested in knowledge. Edwin, I'm so happy that you're here today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, can you tell my listeners just a little bit about your background and how you got to forming the idea and overall the business of Sun Lion Group?
Well, I started off, going to school for business, and while going to school for business, I took an accounting course like every business student takes, and it led to me liking accounting. I was like that weird kid that actually enjoyed the accounting class. Nobody else did. Nobody else wanted to do it. Everybody else hated it. And I'm here getting A's and just loving it. So I decided to switch my major and focus directly on accounting. And that got me started. And started off slow, just doing bookkeeping for a couple companies, and then working my way up and, moved to a senior accountant level, and then to almost being, I would say, almost CFO for electrical contractor. And that partnership didn't really work out. So I am now a corporate accountant with a multinational company, and that's my day job. And that led me into starting my own business solutions, an accounting group, like business. So there we work with small businesses, entrepreneurs, helping them, do their taxes, their bookkeeping, their budgeting, their planning, their, getting things ready, just whatever they need, business solutions. We have people that work on websites. We have people who just had a meeting today with somebody who does insurance or disability insurance and life insurance policies. So we bring all the solutions their companies may need, whether they need life insurance or these things for themselves, or they want a group policies for their companies. They want advertising, if they need to get t-shirts, mugs, pins. Like, we have business associates that are also our clients, and we work together with all of them to provide, try to get the needs served of our customers from our other customers.
Very nice. Very nice. So can you tell me about that transition? It seems like there had to be like a way for you to pivot, right? Because, life is all about pivoting and moving forward. So
pivot, yeah, I think, I could definitely dive into that. Because I think like it just came to a point where I realized like I wasn't getting the respect I deserved. I think like people would take my ideals and be like, when listen. It's because I felt like the positions I'm in, I was working for somebody all the time. Like, so consistently working for somebody else, they can disregard your opinion.
Yes.
At any given time, even though you're giving them sound advice. It's like when this last partnership went bad, it was like, I'm telling you everything you need to do to keep your company going where it's supposed to be going, but you don't want to listen to me. You fight me on everything. You tell me, oh, that's not the way I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do it my way. Every time I drop hints or say what we need to work on, we're going to work late, we're going to work for free. Just help you build something up, And it was like, just like meeting like resistance all the time, you know what I mean? And it wasn't until the company was going down and he met with a potential person to buy in and help, keep the company alive, that person told him what he needed to do to make the company survive. And
it was exactly what you said.
He's nodding, and it's everything I told him to do. And it was like, I was like, I'm not here to take over your company. I want to see people succeed, Black businesses especially, because this is a minority-owned business, and like I want to definitely see us succeed. So I always give my extra effort, where I can, to help, the companies get organized, let them get, just procedures, policies, whatever they need. Like we could find a way to get to it, and that's just like the kind of like when you introduce me as a thinker, I like to problem solve. Like whatever the problem is, we can compartmentalize it. We can break it down. We can, figure out whatever your company's needing at the moment and get those needs met to get you, running smoothly and get you profitable and get you in the black and paying your taxes on time and building business credit so you can leverage that credit to more and more wealth, continue the process.
Yeah. I think there's definitely something to say about not being heard, right? Especially by people who look like you, right? Or people who you identify with. Especially in the corporate world, in the work world, it seems like there's always a competition, and there really shouldn't be, and I kind of wish that didn't happen. And, I have like similar experiences, which has thrust me into entrepreneurship myself. So
it does it real fast. I mean, you start realizing like, okay, nobody wants to take my opinion. I'm going to take my own opinions. Why don't I use all this knowledge I'm trying to use to help build somebody else's project and somebody else's dream and just put it into my own, so.
Yeah. And I think that's the point, right? Because a lot of people think about how to get rich quick, right? Or they think about just the money aspect, but they don't understand that when you're helping other people, the money will come, right?
Money comes,
yeah. So
as the quote goes, the quickest way to get to anything you want is to help somebody else get what they need. You know what I mean? That's going to get you there faster every single time. You're crowdsourcing your energy, you're crowdsourcing your resources, you're going to get there much quicker. And rising tide raises all ships. So you never have to really be like, I don't see anybody as business competition. Even if they do the same things I do some of the same things they do. We're not competition. We can work together. We can figure out some way where we can all make money because there's enough money out here. We just, if we work together, we're going to get to more of it than we are, trying to pivot and talk bad about each other and put businesses down and, not to deal with each other just because they're similar types of business,
Yeah. And, I want to commend you because entrepreneurship takes guts, right? It takes a lot of commitment, and it is not, what Instagram is saying that it is, it is dirty.
It's never as good as it's on TV. That's one thing for sure. Like anything they show you on the internet and stuff, it's not that easy. It's long nights. It's wanting to go to bed. It's wanting to go out with friends to get a drink. It's wanting to hang out with your family, your kids, your significant other, go see your parents. But you're stuck getting the work done. In the beginning, most people are doing everything. You're building your website, you're creating your ads, you're the IT guy, you're the accountant, you're everybody, and you have to wear all these different hats, and it can be overwhelming. So part of what we want to do is offer services that can ease the pressure from the entrepreneur, so they can focus on just being great at what their passion is, whatever the business is. So we try to create policies and procedures with companies and help them streamline their processes so they can be not only running more efficiently, but it can be duplicatable. And once you make your process duplicatable, it's easy to hire somebody and give them standard procedures to follow, so that way the product, because a lot of people say, oh, I don't want nobody else doing my business because it's not going to turn out the way I do it. Well, if you make your process duplicatable, then all your staff will be doing the service that you provide as just as efficient, just as the same quality as you do. And once you have a staff taking care of a lot of these small functions, you can focus now on expanding your business. You can focus now on leveraging your credit. You can focus on other ventures. You have the free time, to do these things, because you can't invest back in yourself if you don't make time to put the resources back in.
Definitely. So one of my bosses taught me something a while ago that was very interesting. And he said, my time is worth so and so amount of hour. So if I am spending my time printing papers, making copies, that's my time is worth this amount of money. Why don't I just hire somebody for this amount?
I literally say the same thing to people all the time. It's like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I do that. Like, well, why don't you hire somebody to do this? Oh, I gotta run around. Why don't you hire somebody to set up this part for you?
Yeah.
Get somebody else, like somebody who's great at that. They got a small business themselves. Hire that small business. Partner with them. Y'all can do business to business transactions where y'all helping each other at a discounted rate. You know what I mean? Okay, I normally charge somebody $100 an hour. I'm gonna charge you $50 an hour because when I need you, you're gonna charge me $50 an hour. You can make these agreements. You can make referral agreements with people. You can make, split your marketing costs. Fund the website together, fund the ad together. If you got similar businesses, let's fund. Like we're a partnership. Hey, you can come to this location or this location. You know what I mean? That way you're pulling your resources together, and it's not all on you to get your ad, on TV during the Super Bowl or something like that. You're splitting that cost amongst 2 or 3 other entrepreneurs, and you're all still getting the same commercial spot. You're still getting the same recognition. You're gonna still get, hey, just strategically start working with these other, like in Rochester, a lot of estheticians and barbershops and hair salons, and here in Rochester, New York, where I live. And it's like, there's a lot of competition. It seems like where you guys can literally do a barbershop commercial and name like 5 of y'all locations on a TV commercial, you know what I mean? And say, hey, come here, you're gonna get the same level type of cut, which one is near you, take down, boom, we're in the northeast side, we're in the northwest side, we're in the southeast side, we're in the southwest side. And you got 4 locations that you're paying for an ad that's gonna get all your locations listed. Whoever's near y'all can manage your pricing and do similar pricing. You can just collaborative ways where you're not considered like a cartel because you're all still separate businesses.
Yes.
But you can literally like manage your advertisement and agreements and stuff like that and make it work. And this is like what major companies do, because they Frito-Lay and Pepsi and all these companies that own each other, they split their ad campaigns between, these are separate companies. They might be owned by one parent company, but they're still separate companies, and they trade money back and forth, sharing these marketing budgets and resources all the time. And it's like something to bring to the entrepreneur side of things is to get people to share your resources, work together, get trained from each other, like lean on each other. Like, hey, I need somebody to do this. Hey, I need somebody to make me t-shirts. And this person's like, I got a t-shirt business. Okay, we're going to work a business together. And don't treat everybody like I'm paying you, like you need to do what I'm telling you to do because I'm paying. Like, make a working relationship with these people, and they can become your best assets. These people who have other passions that go sideways with your business and are like sector to your business, they can help you grow in a way that you can't even imagine because y'all built this partnership together and y'all have a certain passion to work together,
Exactly. Yes. It sounds like you're building your own little directory there, and I love it.
I'm building a lot. Yes, it's a lot. I can't tell it all. You know what I mean? But it's a lot. It's definitely a lot going on up here right now. It's a lot of plotting, a lot of planning, and scheming and whatnot. But I'm definitely just pushing love. Like, everything grows and multiplies off of the energy you give it. If you give it negative energy, it's going to grow negatively. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the hating on each other's businesses and trying to upstage each other and say, I'm the best one and all this other stuff. We are all small Black businesses. There's strength in numbers, you know what I mean? Unity and all that. So it's like, no, let's stop the hate. Let's give love. Let's show love to everybody. Post this person's page when you post your ad. Make this person a co-creator on a reel that you're doing or something like that. Like just getting their information out there more. Like everybody's tagging everybody, everybody's following everybody, everybody's commenting and posting. The algorithm. You know what I mean? If we're consistently liking and commenting and saving and reposting each other's stuff, we're all going to grow collectively because we're all satisfying the algorithm. This is the computer science. You just break it down. Like we're gonna all keep meeting those marks, and now you're going to get way more. Like just showcase random sponsorship. Pay for some ads together. You split the cost of Facebook and Instagram ads together, and now y'all could run a marketing campaign jointly for months on end. Because hey, I'm gonna pay for 6 months. You pay for 6 months. Now we got a year worth of marketing that we can use. Yes. And it's just getting people to realize that the best thing they can do is work with somebody else. And our people have a problem with the crab and barrel mentality where I'm gonna get my own, I'm gonna get mine, and then I'll see who else I put on and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, everybody's on with me. Like if I can help some way, I'm gonna help you.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yes. If I can benefit your business, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? We need to work out a special rate because your money's not right now. Cool. I have people who pay me in equity or something like that because it's like you want, hey, I need your services. And it's like, I'm open to that too. Like it's whatever, like however we can build. I'm gonna need something for my time because my time is my most valuable asset.
Of course, yes.
But I'm here to work. I'm always gonna give you more than what you're paying for. You're gonna get a bang for your buck. It's like a super bang.
Yeah, it's very effortless. So I do this. It's so funny because I did this for my friend recently, right? She's going to be a guest on the podcast, actually. But so I know a few entrepreneurs down here. So for you guys listening, I just recently relocated to the DMV area. I think you guys know that, right? But and I used to live in Rochester, New York. So I met a few entrepreneurs here because I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm a part of a network of people who kind of we bounce ideas off each other. We go to dinners. We have, dinners where we're talking about different ideas and, just learning from each other. So it's always good to have a network. But I was at an entrepreneur's table 2 weeks ago or maybe 3 weeks ago. And they wanted to hire me. I have 2 businesses that want to hire me for their HR consulting, right? Because I do HR. Yeah. And I already have a consulting business. I had it in Rochester. I moved it down here. I'm registered here. So it's easy for me to do that. But these 2 girls, well, actually, it was a few people. They said something about grants. Now, I know a girl, right, that I met a few weeks ago where she does not even have her business started yet, but one of her passions was to get grants for Black-owned businesses because she's like, there's so much money out here, and I want to tell people how to get it. So I mentioned her. And you know, I asked her if I can share her information after the meeting or after the dinner, and she's like, oh my gosh, I just started the business. I had no idea what to do. And I cannot believe you just got me my first 2 clients. So it don't cost nothing to even mention like, hey, I know somebody who really want to give somebody some money, you know, or, you know what, I do this, but they might do this a little better. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking even about like organizing, right? And I started an organizing business that I'm going to close, right? Because it really was like a money grab thing and doesn't really flow with my purpose. But let's just talk about organizing.
Okay.
So even with organizing, right? So if I know that I'm good at organizing closets, we'll say, right? And somebody wants their office organized, I know that I probably could do an office, but if I don't have time to or anything, I'm going to put you on with another organizer. Like, you know what? This person here, is capable of doing this. I can reach out. I've even done it for different businesses. Yeah. So, just keeping that in mind and like helping people, and like everyone knows someone who can possibly help or who can do something that can benefit another person.
And you're making connections, you're building your network, and when you need something, those people are available, or they may know somebody for that provide the service you need. It's like it's gonna always work out better when we can build together, and that's the key. You know what I mean? You're definitely right on it with that. Like.
Yeah. So I didn't know this conversation was going to go to building together, but
that's what it's always been about.
Yeah.
This is why we started the conversation, because we building together. See?
Check that out.
Yep.
You better manifest. You better go ahead and say it, okay? Because we got. You know, what's so funny is. So we think in the same sort of vein, and it's very refreshing to hear, you know, because it's not a lot of people. I don't know if you experience this, but there's really not a lot of people who kind of think on the same type of wavelength. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely refreshing to kind of talk to somebody who gets it, right? Who gets the partnership, who gets the importance of your time, right? So I guess I have a question, like one question that I actually wrote out for you. What advice, because let me tell you something, okay? So I saw you.
Give me the background. Give me the background first. I could, you know, envision the whole scenario when you came up with the idea. You know,
let me tell you. So I saw that you posted on Facebook, like, oh my gosh, like my older self, I just cringe. You know, you posted a Facebook memory about you working overtime and stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, I cringe at like, you know, these.
Yeah, I can't. Then we know who that guy was.
Oh right, God. Like who is that person? That's how I feel. Let me tell you, I be laughing at half of them because I'm like, y'all took me back then. That was a lot. So I'm a saint now. LOL. LOL smiley face.
It's your show. You can tell the lies if you want to tell lies. It's okay.
I'm all about positivity now, okay?
I don't know how lies are positive, but you know, truth is usually the truth will set you free, you know?
Anyways, my question for you is, what would you tell Edwin like 15 years ago? Like if you are you and you can tell yourself something 15 years ago, what would you say to yourself?
I would tell myself, like, straight up look myself in the eyes and tell them it doesn't matter. Like that shit right there, that whatever you're thinking about, you're so stressed out about, whatever you're so heavily focused on and you can't get your life together because that issue is going on right now, like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? The only thing matters is getting through the day. The only thing matters is getting to the next step and breathing the next breath. Live more in the moment, stop trying to live so much in the past, stop trying to live so much in the future. Like, it's like you driving, you can check the rear view, every now and then to see where you came from, to make sure it still was cool, and learn from what was back there, what obstacles you had to drive around and potholes and whatnot. But you can't spend too much time looking into the past, because you're just going to miss what's going on in front of you. You're going to wreck. You're going to run off the rails. You're going to run off the road. You look to the future, you're looking in front of you, but you got to try to live like in that first 25 feet that's in front of your vehicle. You can glance down the road and see if the light's turning red or something like that, but you got to live in the moment. Like, you're driving, you have to literally have your hands on the wheel, attentive, paying attention to what's going on around you, so that way you can react defensively or offensively, however you need to. And that's how you got to just take life. Like, I would tell myself to not care so much and so hard about whatever that is right there, because it's only temporary. Whatever pain you're feeling is temporary. So it doesn't matter. I would tell them, whatever you're feeling, whatever anguish you're feeling, it doesn't matter. And if I knew that back then, I would be where I am now much sooner. That's something I know for sure. If I wasn't so focused on the negative issues and the things that was coming my way and problems with people, and I never was a person to care what people thought about me, but that was never an issue. Like, self-confidence, those areas was an issue. It was more or less just dealing with other people's shit, and always lending the extra hand without getting what you're worth for it. You know what I mean? And going the extra mile with somebody without getting your secure stuff first. And you can't keep pouring into other people's cups, and there's nobody or nothing pouring into yours. So it's just, I would just tell myself those things. Like, these things don't matter. And helping like, conserve your energy. Your time is more valuable than anything. Those are the things I would tell myself, just to live freer and more in the moment and keep driving.
So many good things from that, right? Especially, when you use it as a metaphor. First of all, I'm big on moving forward, right? I always talk about moving forward, because first of all, you can't go back, right? I actually have a notification on my phone saying you can never go back.
Yeah, you can never go back. So
move forward. Don't stay back there. You don't drive in reverse. Everything we do, if you think about it, like, everything we are doing, everything that we're wired to do, has to do with moving forward, right? It has to do with forward motion. And you're right. Looking at the moment, and, kind of taking inventory of what you have. Yes, you can look a few feet ahead, because my problem is the future, right? I look into the future and I'm like, everything future. And I never enjoy the present. So now I'm starting to kind of enjoy it. And
you gotta just set your intent. Like, you can live your life day to day, not control, but you can live life day to day and plan for the future by setting your intent. My intent is to make more money. So I'm going to do things that are going to make me more profitable, and give myself more skills, make myself, being worth more.
Today, what can you do today that will benefit you?
That's all you need to take is that next breath. Like, what do I need to do in this next breath that's going to put me closer to my dream? And as long as you're looking at it in that, and you compound those moments, because life is nothing but moments. When you look at our memories, what stick with us is the most emotional moments, the most happy moments, sad moments, painful moments. You know what I mean? You broke a bone, or, you remember that completely. You got to get stitches. You remember every needle, poke that went in your arm, you know what I mean? Or your leg or whatever. It's like those things are attached to your emotions. So those are things you make is those moments. So if you start living more intently, you'll see that your moments get a lot longer. Like, your moments, like as I've been, like, something I've been doing like this last year and a half, like focusing on like living in the moment and living more intently, and not like daydreaming, not like sleeping, like Napoleon Hill talks about, like, and I Wouldn't Double talks about, like, live, like, your mind transferring, like watching TV and stuff during that times is like when the devil gets hold of you. You know what I mean? That's when the self-consciousness kicks in. That's when the self-pity, the resentment of yourself, the unloving parts of yourself kick in. Your mind goes to work in thoughts. And when you start having all those random thoughts, you're going to be beating up on yourself. You're going to be saying, I don't make enough money. I don't have a big enough house. I don't have a nice enough car. These people got nicer shoes than me. Oh, my credit score sucks. I feel like crap. You're going to be beating yourself up. And then the more you sit there and you beat yourself up, that's the devil working on you.
Yes.
Because that's the person teaching you to walk away from your light. Like, to be stronger and you're positive and be more closer to yourself, you have to love yourself unconditionally and recognize the good and the bad in yourself and be okay with it. You know what I mean? And don't, like, that's why I say don't let other people judge. Like, other people can judge you all day long. That's their vision. That's their movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? You
none of your business. Yeah.
You can only control your thoughts, your mind, your process. I'm telling everybody, read the 4 Agreements. Take that stuff to heart. By Dr. Ruiz, like, it tells you about living in the moment. It tells you about, like, viewing things from your eyes. Because if you was to take yourself and put yourself in somebody else's eyes, you wouldn't even recognize yourself through their eyes.
Yes. I have, it's so funny that you say that, right? Because a lot of people tell me things about myself that it shocks me, because I'm like, you think that way about me? They really think that I am royalty, okay? Like, a lot of people, they're like, oh no, I can tell that you like this, or no, I can tell that you wouldn't go for that, or I can tell that you do expensive stuff, girl, or you got
a little bougie air about you, but not just saying.
Someone, what's so funny is I was insulted because someone asked me to go, maybe I shouldn't say this because she's gonna hear this and she gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. Oh, my bad. So, okay. It's anonymous still. It's only gonna be true. Right. So, nobody else know who it is. Someone asked me to go to an event. I'm not gonna say what kind of event, but someone asked me to go to an event. And the buy-in for this event was like $35. No, that was like the discount was $35, but like the actual cost was like $6,000. And I swear, I was like, girl, I got $6,000 to put. Yes, don't you? Like, it's an event.
Like, why don't you?
Yeah, and I was thinking like, well, I kind of do, but I'm not gonna pay, I don't like to pay large amounts of money. But to me, I was just like, why would she ask me that?
Because she thought it'd be a good investment for you. So she offered it to you, but she expects you to have the money, because one thing I recognize, one thing about being an accountant is one thing like we have to pay attention to details. So I pay attention to a lot of details in every situation, body language, chemistry, everything. People have money for what they want to have money for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anytime you're doing business, somebody like, I don't got the money for that. You don't want this bad enough. Because you got the money for anything you want bad enough. You know what I mean? When you want this new shoe bad enough, you wait in line and give up hours of your time and pay eccentric dollars for it. Or you're on some online store haggling back and forth with somebody, paying them an extreme, 50% markup on it. You know what I mean? Like, you want it so bad, you're willing to spend, thousands of dollars on some Yeezys and all this other stuff like that, and change, and let me get a Benz, even though I live in an apartment complex. And you got money for what you want to have money for.
Right.
So in the financial world, we look at you like, well, why are you complaining? Because if you was to put more of your resources into things that into vehicles, I would say vehicles as an asset, like something that moves and makes and multiplies, something that's going forward and growing. Like, if you put your money into the right places and either investing in your education, learn new skills, investing in, just better.
And that's where my money is going towards right now. This master's degree, okay?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're making yourself more equitable. Like, you're making yourself more valuable in other people's eyes. So when people see more value associated to you, they're willing to give you more money. When you bring value, people pay premium prices. You pay thousands more dollars for Yeezys because the name makes you feel like it brings more value. The name brings more value, but that sneaker's made in the same sweatshop as these Bobos. You know what I mean? Like,
you brought it back with the Bobos.
telling my age though. But it's like, so like with these Payless, like Payless showed it. They did the whole skit, like they did the joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like they brought all their Payless shoes and people paying $30 for, $50 for, and they put them on display and made it look fancy and gave it the air. The illusion of value, because that's all it really is. All this shit doesn't really, money doesn't really exist. That's all right. Thing, but
that's all
it's like, it's all about the value you place in things. You know what I mean? Right. And because you think it's associated with something, you place more value in it. Oh, it's associated to this artist. You know what I mean? Well, how the fuck was Kanye even talking about Yeezys when all he owns is a name?
Yeah.
You don't own his signs. You don't own the sneakers. You didn't really own it, sir.
Right.
So you literally just all you own was a name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's how these people can like drop you when they want to.
Right.
You put yourself in the crosshairs. One thing we can't do is what? You can't. What's the first law of power? 48 laws of power.
That I don't know. Okay.
Never outshine the master. So you're not supposed to outshine. You're not supposed to outshine the master until you can completely annihilate the master.
Woo!
You don't outshine your boss. You don't outshine your boss. And to get the 50th law too, because 50 Cent wrote the 50th law to go along with that. He co-wrote it with Robert.
All right, now you want to go too far. Now the 50th, I'll get the 48 laws, but
I'm giving you a book list. You're gonna start to read. You're gonna stop judging books by covers and actually picking them.
You know what? I can't.
All the books behind you, and you
First
just
of all,
pick them all up.
You didn't even tell me
was
that.
pretty, right?
No.
The cover is pretty, so that's why you bought all those.
None of these is 48 laws of power. That's
I like the way that looks. It looks like a smart book. I'm gonna put it on my shelf. Is that what you're doing?
No. Actually, I have a really good one. Look at History of the Black Dollar.
Yeah, that's on my list actually. That was on my list. Okay,
Well,
did you read it? Did you read it?
I did read it.
Okay, I'm just making sure you read it because you judge books by covers. That's all I said. I said, did you read the books back there? As long as you read every book back there, you
know what's funny is,
you know?
So I like textbooks. Like I like
you like reading
legit. Like
that's some nerdy shit to admit to, but you know.
Yeah, I'm like real bad. Like I would like the new business of consulting.
None of the books are well written too, though. Textbooks actually flow pretty well these days. I hang on to all my most important ones.
Training and development. So I literally I like to gain knowledge. So that's
same here. Yeah. That's what like mine is. Constantly reading, constantly learning.
Emotional intelligence.
Always a student is the way to go through life because you never know everything. So you got to remain a student. People always want to get to a point where they stop learning, they stop having to grow. They want to get comfortable and not have to grow no more. But you got to stay uncomfortable because you can consistently grow. You know, it's like technology has made mankind lazy, and it took this pandemic and all this other stuff to come in and poke us in the side to make us wake up and start doing like, let's start innovating again. Now we're gonna finally get a freaking flying car. You know what I mean? It's like finally, like I've been waiting for this since the 80s, like the 90s. I've been waiting for flying cars. You know, it's like, we're gonna have this by 2020. No, the fuck we don't. Like, where is it?
No, where is it? Yeah.
Because niggas got lazy. Everybody got lazy. You know?
Yeah.
Got those fat years and they just got lazy.
It's not about moving forward, bro.
So we gotta move forward. But yeah, I gotta keep you on set because you went all the way back to the books again. So you don't outshine the master, right? And that's what he did wrong because he said he owned the name. And that's what we're too busy. That's even in the Black community all the time with entrepreneurs. Everybody want to own an LLC and everybody want to have all these different business names and have like 5 businesses. But you're not making, more than $10,000 in any one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're spreading yourself too thin. So everybody wants to own the name. And that's what Kanye did. He wanted to own the name. I'm gonna finish that part and not go into that whole thing about the people business. That's on another episode. But
yes, I told you coming back, right? You gotta come back.
Because it's like you own the name, but they own the actual product. They own the materials. They own the sweatshop workers. They own all the stuff that makes it your actual product to come to market. You know what I mean? And Sway said that shit to him back in the day, like, yo, why don't you create your own company? How, Sway? You know what I mean? He couldn't get out of his own way because he was seeking the same thing he's seeking right now. He was seeking the approval of others. You know what I mean? And he wanted to fit in with the French community of fashion when they was like shunning him and not letting him in and all stuff like that way back in the days. He wanted to fit in with those people. So he had to do a backwards deal by himself. Once he got the Yeezys, now all of a sudden he fitting in with Italians and Frenchies over there with fashion and stuff like that. Now his stuff's on the showroom floor doing the runway walks and all this stuff. Because once you did that backwards deal with Adidas where they owned your actual product and designs, they own your designs, they own your blueprints.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
That's like owning your masters.
Why would you sign that type of deal? Like, that's just crazy to me.
It's like you left Jigga and sold your soul. You know what I mean? Like you gave them your blueprints. So once they own your blueprints, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're still your master. They own your blueprint. You can't bite the hand that's feeding you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as much as everybody want to be in an uproar about it, this is what Jay-Z was talking about. Like, get real estate, get equity, grow business. It's the only way to survive in this country. You got to grow. And the only way we're going to grow is if what? We buy black. We support black. We build together. We combine together. We come together. Then we don't have to worry about outshining nobody master. We are our own masters. Like Jay-Z.
Are you seeing results with that? With what you're in these efforts that you're doing with the businesses that you work for?
I do. Because I do like whispers between people just to see how it works. Sometimes just to get somebody working with somebody else. I'll be like, yo, who's a good person? You should reach out for that. Such. And I just do that. You know what I mean? And I sit back and wait and see what happens. You know what I mean? And then you start seeing like those people kind of melding together and building together. And you see them elevate, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the problem I'm seeing now is like they elevate and then they kind of go apart again. You know what I mean? So I got to figure out how to meld them for the multiple business deals, and that's where it's going to come with this. I got like a collective marketing thing. I'm gonna sit down with a lawyer and work on a contract where like Rochester businesses can sign and be like. This is like blueprint stuff that's going on, so you get some extra sauce today. Like a contract that everybody can collectively sign that can go into like you become a member of a company. We can start our own trade union, like for our black businesses. You know what I mean? In a sense, and you start your own trade union, then you can have like set up programs in those trade unions to train your own labor. We have so you can set up and you can train your own labor. So you're building in your own community now. You're training your children to work in these different fields and these different businesses and all that stuff, and they got to end because their mother business or their father's business or whatever, their uncle's business is a part of this collaborative unit. So even though my uncle was a mechanic and he's part of this situation, I want to be a hairstylist, and so that means I could go to any of these 5 or 10 females over here, and they'll bring me in, and they'll they're licensed as masters, and they can teach me and they can help me get licensed. They'll put me through a program.
Yeah.
You said a paid internship. You know what I mean? And so what you do with those things, like you could do crowdsourcing and set it up as a non-for-profit, because that's what like a trade association is. And all these people sign it, all these businesses join it, right, as members.
Yeah. So
the benefits of the members is you're going to get these all the employees who are also become members. They're going to get paid wages. We can decide our own labor rate in Rochester if we want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like anybody in the black community can really do this. We can sign our own labor rate if we create our own trade unions. You know what I mean? If we create our own trade unions, we can sign our own labor rates and how much we're going to charge for our products and all this stuff. We can build all this stuff into the non-for-profit, and then general rates. You see that in construction. You see that other things where they all know what the market about rate is, and this company's going to bid this job, and this company's going to get that. So some of these hairstylists are going to get more customers, some are going to get less. They got to up their game if they're going to want to get more, get balanced out. Yeah. Stuff like that. Some of these, barbers or some of these restaurants are going to get upstage if they're not like, oh, this person got something better. You know what I mean? But you're going to have the collective resources of all these businesses that's going to help your business get the same brand recognition. Yeah. You're going to have to collect the resources of you've been in the business 3 years, you've been in the business 1 year, you've been in the business 15 years of that communication. To blend in the old with the new, the old with the new, because some new businesses got a new spin on it because they're more modern. Some old businesses got the same common practices, as they would call them, for doing whatever type of work it is, whatever type of industry it is. You know what I mean? Okay. So they have these good common practices that they can teach everybody. Right. So everybody's at their quality level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You bring your quality.
Have a standard, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm here, and we're going to make you the standard, and everybody's got to bring this stuff up to here. Yeah. You're going to help them. You're going to reach down and throw a rope and help pull them up. And while you're helping pull them up, they're pushing, and they're lifting you at the same time. Yeah. And you're going to all rise together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love how your brain works. It literally, you sound like me. But I'm a little more... I feel like I can go in a whole nother direction.
I'm always in another direction for what?
Not this podcast, but a different one for sure. Okay. But before I wrap up this one, I want to know if you have any questions for me.
does your company need? Like, how can I use this is like what I'm talking about. Like, we're doing a podcast together, but we can also do business together. Like, what do your company need, or what do you need, like my perspective on, or anything like that we could do for you? You know what I mean? And help with your podcast, help with your organizing business, help you create your cash cow so you can sit back and set it up and it can run itself. And then you can, focus on all your dreams, you know what I mean? And living your passions.
Without me saying too much to the public, my thought process is to create an umbrella company, right? And and have these different functions under the umbrella. So the umbrella is intra-org, right? So I have intra-organizing services, which is an organizing business. And I don't know, because the organizing business was started because I like to organize and I'm good at it. And this is something that can make me money while I'm getting this master's degree. I'm not sure if that's something I want to keep, right? That's something, all of these business, I eventually want to be self-running, right? I also have a consulting business, which is intra-org consulting, right? So intra-organization, going into these organizations, helping these small businesses with, it looks like human resources right now, but it was management consulting, right? So I actually created an online course. So these are things that I do. Like I create websites, I do online courses, I create SOPs, I create, the same kind of things that you are operating, right?
So we can definitely build on something like that together too. Just like whole business with that, because like we do that, but we don't always have the time to get to certain things. So being able to bounce back and forth and off each other. And you're already set up. Like I was trying to get set up to do the videos and everything like that. You're already in that lane. So like, even if I create a SOP or something like that, I can send it to you. You could do the training video, or, you know what I mean? Like, like set it up, cameras, whiteboard, and write down, and, just like create training videos. Something like there's so many aspects of like entrepreneurship that some people are better at than others.
Definitely. Yes.
And that's like where if we find ways to lean on each other for certain things, and just like, hey, I got a project I need for a customer, here's, this is what I'm charging them. I'll give you 80% of that and keep 20 for myself. You know what I mean? Like whatever, just like, and we're collectively, everybody's eating something and everybody's feeding each other back and forth, and
Yeah, I have a very strong employee relations background. So for you listeners who are listening, Edwin and I met while we were in college, and I was a communications major and he was a business major in accounting. So I have my communications degree. So that's pretty much the kind of foundation of what I do, which makes me really good with employee relations, which makes me good with anything relational, right? So I'm really big into details when it comes to how people interact with one another, how can you communicate culture, or how can you change the culture in an environment, whether it's in your business, in your personal life, which I'm starting to figure out like how to do with this master's degree. Overall, I want to help people, right? So there's that piece of the umbrella. The third piece is this piece, which is a podcast piece, right? Where I'm helping people, and it's all about giving people resources that can help them grow, right? Yeah. So talking with you, further on in the season, I'm going to have people from many different backgrounds, just talking a little bit about their backgrounds and, giving advice to people who could be going through similar situations, who could be wanting to do the same thing. So definitely being a resource.
That's so powerful.
Being a resource is one of my passions, and I am finding different ways to become a resource. So yes, being a resource professionally, being a resource personally as well.
That's a little bit about that. And that's amazing. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take that extra passion, to get there. Like get people, like people realize like, oh, I'm going to help you. I'm going to always say, like, when you have these conversations, just like in the podcast, and we're going back and forth, and you're talking about life and decisions and situations, somebody's might hear something that relates to them. You know what I mean? And they'll see like, oh, dang, oh, okay. She went through something similar to that, and she still had, she still got here, or she still did this, and she still overcame it. And you have these conversations, and that's when people learn. That's when they attach to it, because they emotionally attached to that moment so they remember it.
Yeah,
you know
and you're not alone. I think it's important to let people know that they are not alone.
Not alone. Yeah, we're all going through the same problems.
Yeah, people feel so isolated in their struggle, right? And they're like, oh, I was just fired. I don't know what to do. Guess what? I've been fired. I actually was fired 3 times in 2021.
Wait, who hasn't been fired?
2021?
Anybody in that generation been fired a couple times, then walked off a couple jobs, and told somebody to go fuck themselves. Like, like everybody's
all of that.
At this point. It's a part of the process. I tell my kids that all the time, like with their jobs, they was working at Wegmans and stuff like that, and it's like, this is just a part-time job. Yep. This is not it. This is not life. This is not going to be here forever. This is the moment. This is a momentary thing. My son was saying the other day, I'm tired of pushing cars. I said, well, look for another job. Yep. It's like, if you don't want to push, I'd rather do so. I said, what would you want to do? Well, I'd rather something like at the mall. Well, go apply to the, go apply to the mall. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be indoors, somewhere warm and comfortable, selling some sneakers and some clothes, go apply for that then. Go after what you want. And that's the only way you're going to get it. All you can do is tell you no, and you keep saying, if you keep asking, eventually you're going to get what? A yes. All you need is one yes.
Yep, and it goes into your thought life, right? Yeah, because even when I came down here, I was rejected. Literally, I was looking for a job for 6 months. Every single job I applied for, interviewed for, rejected. And it makes you feel some type of way, And if you're in your head, you're going to be like, yo, what is it for me? You're going to try to settle for less. You're going to do something desperate, right? And you really just have to move forward. So yes, there's a lot of people who can give you resources. Even like, I have a friend coming on who is in nursing, and this girl does nothing but nursing contracts. And let me tell you something. She is a resource. She's the one who tells me, like, she helps people out that she, like, at clinics that she works at. She's like, you ain't got to deal with this, girl. You only getting paid this much. You can leverage this and get this and this. So I want her to come on here and talk to these nurses about leveraging your skills, right?
Make yourself your own LLC, right? Yeah. So you take those nursing skills, you take those, whatever it is, you create a company around it. Yeah. And then you get your EIN or your TIN from the IRS. Now you created this entity, which is your birth certificate, right? The company's birth certificate. And then now you got the EIN and TIN, that's the social security number. Yeah. So now you can go to these companies, right? And say, I can do what I'm doing as a job, right? But I'm gonna do it as a contract. Yeah. So where you was paying me $60,000 to do this job. Yep. And you have all this overhead, insurance, and all this Yeah. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna pull back from this job. You need me to do this job. I'm gonna pull back from this job because this is a job scarcity out there right now. This is the prime time for people to take advantage of something like this. Like, this is like unbelievable what you can do. Like, so you create yourself into a company, you go right back to your boss and say, I'm quitting on this day. Right? Yep. And you can hire me as a corporation. Yeah. And I'll do the exact same job for you. We can set our contracts out. But instead of $60K, you're gonna pay me $100K.
100, yep, exactly.
You can write it off $100,000 expense off the top of your taxes. Boom, that's $100,000 expense. You could write me right off as $100,000 1099, right? Let me worry about my insurance. Let me worry about, this is what people don't realize. This is your freedom. This is getting your freedom back. This is owning yourself. So let me worry about my health insurance plan. Let me go shop in the market and get what works for me. Let me worry about my disability insurance. Let me worry about my life insurance. Let me worry about my 401k, my Roth IRAs, my annuities myself, right? And the people that are going to be willing to do the extra work are going to do this. Everybody's not going to do it. And that's what I think people are going about the workforce. Everybody's not going to do it. Everybody's not going to go through these extra steps to do this. But the people who are hungry enough and looking for a way to come out of this recession swinging, turn yourself into a company and leverage the same skills you're leveraging right now to get that paycheck. Leverage that into income revenue for a company. Now you got something you got equity in. Now you have something that you can build business credit in. Now you show that same cash flow of your paycheck direct deposit every week, right? That's what they want to see. Me for loans. Don't bring me 4 pay stubs. Bring me, a month's to 2-3 months worth of income. However you get paid. They want to see income. Well, when you put those deposits in your business bank account and you managing your taxes and you manage your expenses correctly for a couple of years, now you can go apply for these $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, $1 million business loans. You can get development loans. You can work together with other corporations doing the same thing. Y'all can buy buildings and do co-ops and do so many different things.
I've seen it happen, yeah.
You can literally do this if you say, let me leverage these same skills I'm leveraging as an employee, as a contractor. And a lot of employers going to not go for it in the beginning. Cool. Well, you're going to lose me. I'm going to go find somebody who is going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't outshine the master. So you don't make these moves until you in a position where you comfortable to make these moves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you want to still stay with that same security, you like what you do, that's cool. You can have your job. Like some people, not everybody meant to be entrepreneur and innovator, that, don't run their own full-on business. Cool. You can just still get more of your bang for your bucks.
Right.
By doing it this way. So now instead of them paying you $60K, they pay you $100K, right? Mm-hmm. So now that you're a company, you collect $100,000 in income. Now you're going to write off your insurance. Now you're going to write off your Roth IRA investments, your own your annuities, whatever you invested into your retirement stuff. You writing all that off that $100K before they file taxes on it, right? You're going to write off your vehicle because the company owns the vehicle. You're going to write off your home because the companies own your phone, your home. You know what I mean? You're going to write off all these assets that you need so bad every day. You're going to put your company logo on your clothing so you can write off a certain percentage of your clothing.
That's
you know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna do things differently. And you're gonna function differently, and you're gonna function like you control everything, but you own none of it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's the next level. Like once you get to that point,
next level.
Now you're in control of your universe because now they're paying you, and now that you're writing all that stuff off, so I get to write off my car, I get to write off my house, I get to write off my clothing, I get to write off so much of my food, I get to write off so much of my vacation. You know what I mean? Because all you do is go to a vacation and do a conference.
Even
you know
mileage, yeah.
You know, all that stuff you can write. So you writing off like 90% of your lifestyle. You know what I mean? What you wearing, part of what you eating, part of your travel, you know, part of what you drive and what you live in. You it's like 90% of your lifestyle, like, you know, you writing that off. And now you got business credit. It's going to grow way faster than your personal credit. Personal credit, cool. It's going to take years to rebuild your personal credit. Your business credit, you start with a brand new baby entity. It has no business credit. And you start establishing business credit, you know.
But Edwin, so you need an S corp to do all of this, right? Or can you do this with an LLC?
You can do this with LLC. You just gotta find what a lot of people don't realize, and a lot of people make this mistake. A lot of people go out and get the LLC. I'm about to drop a little sauce right here. So a lot of people go out and they get the LLC, right? They get their LLC and they like, oh, I'm an LLC now. I got my EIN.
They tax you like you're a sole
You do not. If you do not go and file Form 8832 with the IRS, declaring yourself a corporation, an S corp, or a C corp, or whatever like that, declaring yourself a separate entity, and getting your EIN number associated with that, you will still be taxed as a sole proprietor. Yes. You will still be taxed as a partnership. You know what I mean? And that's what people are not realizing. Those are steps.
I didn't even know that.
Don't give you that. So all these people that's out here, they be like, okay,
including myself.
Come get your LLC. Come get your LLC. And they sign everybody up. And they get doing LLC. And a lot of these people like, I'm just doing it myself. They sign themselves up. They get an LLC. Well, this is when you do need to get advice. This is where if you're not going to have an accountant or a CPA, you need to talk to one. You know, you have a consultation, have a regular consultation with one, you know, where you pay them for their time and they give you advice and help you with these little oomps and oomps and doomps and doomps. And you can get your QuickBooks self-employed if your business is not banking. You can get QuickBooks online. You can learn how to use these softwares. You can run your books yourself. You know what I mean? You can file your taxes yourself with some of these softwares. All the knowledge and stuff you can do if you're savvy. Yeah. If you're not, by more means, hire somebody else to do it. But if it's something you feel like you want, because you got to remember your time is your most valuable asset in business. How much of your time do you want to dedicate to balance your books and this and that? If that's a big important factor to how you manage your business, you might want to be more hands-on with it, you know? Because I make decisions in my business depending on how much is in my bank account. So I want to be more hands-on with my finances, which is understandable for some people. But some people are just like, I just need to make sure my bills is getting paid and I got enough money to live off of. You know what I mean? And they don't want to cram these numbers and think about this stuff. They want to think about the next pet they're going to cut. They want to think about the next plate or dish they're going to make. They want to think about the next skit they're going to perform or album they're going to write, anything. You know what I mean? Because these are all people who should be LLCs and owning themselves and present themselves as a business. If you're a rapper such and such, you should be such LLC. I don't care what you DBA and what you present name as in front of the companies in the world. Your LLC name is the one that's getting the check.
So I have a question. So if you already have your LLC formed, is it too late to kind of?
No.
Okay, so
it's not too late.
Okay, I'll be transparent because I have not filed Form 8832 with the IRS, okay?
You need to file
and they have been taxing me as a sole proprietor.
You're missing out on the C Corp tax. What you call it? Yeah. So in the LLC, you can do that, and then that way you can actually, because they thought LLCs was going to be a temporary function. Mm-hmm. So they didn't write out hardcore rules for them, and then they became really, really popular, a few, like 10 years back or so, and then they just became
even more now with the pandemic.
LLC wasn't supposed to continue to be a thing. It's supposed to be like a short-term thing, like 3 years, 4 years. They was going to phase it out, but that didn't happen, and people just started jumping on them. So then the IRS and them all have to change rules, change laws, and make stuff work. And then now you start saying, how do you make yourself a separate entity? Because when you just form LLC, only thing you're protecting yourself from is suing ability. Yeah. They can't sue you. That's legal protection. But if you don't file any forms with the IRS, you don't have any tax benefits.
Okay.
As a corporation. So you got to file the forms with the IRS. So they say, hey, I want to be represented I want this to be a company. I want this name right here. This is to be recognized as a company and not me as a sole proprietor. You know what I mean? And then you'll file different taxes. You're going to pay more for your taxes. The people need to charge more. We're not doing Schedule C no more. Once you go to C Corp and S Corp, it's a whole other ball game. Like as far as tax services, you're going to pay somebody more. You know what I mean? Because not a lot of tax preparers are even good with the Schedule C, let alone a K1 or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's like just so they're not even like majority of my customers are coming to me because they need their tax returns to say a certain number. You know what I mean? And these people don't know how to pull expenses. They just know how to file taxes, so they can do W-2s. You got W-2s, a couple kids, bang, 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 bang. They can bang them out. You know what I mean? But they can't sit and work with the Schedule C and say, how do you need to represent your income this year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you need to make more and pay more in taxes so you can get business funding? Mm-hmm. Now you got all the funding you need. Now you got all the funding you need. Now you need to claim more expenses and find more tax breaks and do tax planning throughout the year and take on more assets that's appreciable and all that stuff like that. And monitor your expenses and all that stuff properly so you can take as big as deductions as you need to when you need to lower your tax bill. Mm-hmm. Because that's what people don't realize is it was a weapon. Everybody looks for everything to lower their tax bill, but nobody realizes that you don't have to claim everything and you can show more income. And as you show more income a couple years in a row, you're going to pay some thousands out in taxes. But now you got 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. Now you got 2-3 years of gross income of $50K. In your business and $60K in your business. Now you can buy houses. Now you can buy cars. Now you can you can do all this stuff in the business now. And you're getting loans for whatever amount of money you need. $200,000, $300,000, and growing your business.
Okay. Well,
so that's what we need. I know you got to cut me off, right?
I got to cut you off, right? Because we can literally go back and forth. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for that question. It was a really good question.
You gotta work on that.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to thank you guys for listening to Optimism's Peak. I hope everyone is a bit more optimistic after hearing this. Edwin, please tell the listeners how they can reach you, where they can find you, where they can follow you.
You can find me on Facebook, Sunline Financial Group, also Edwin L. Spencer. You can find me on Instagram at Sunline Fin Group, FINGRP, Sunline Fin Group. You can find me also on my website, www.sunlinefingroup.com. You can hit up the inquiry box for free. You can book a consultant if you're not in Rochester. We can work digitally. We can do Zoom meetings, and we can just see what your business needs. And like the way we work, I'm a research problem solving person. So you're going to tell me what's going on in your business, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think about what you need to do to get yourself out of that rut or get yourself to that next level. And we're going to figure out a plan for you, tailored to your business and your needs, and get you up and running, get you going, get you on the path of success,
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. And thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you guys next week.